Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Curly Cake Lamb, and I'm here today to bring you guys a review of the last two episodes of Grownish. I decided after this episode that just aired yesterday to do a review because y'all forgive me, it's extremely hot outside, but I decided to do a review. I was not initially going to review these last two episodes of Grownish because I just felt at the time I just felt like I didn't want to talk about it. Like I didn't want to talk about BLM. I didn't want to talk about those who lost their lives because I just felt like at the time that I know it's good to bring awareness to certain things, but I was just like really sad about it, just like watching it on TV. And last week I also was on vacation with my husband, and he was watching they just put up All American on Netflix, and so he was catching up on the season. They put the whole season up there, and All American had a similar episode to the BLM, and it just made me like, I didn't even watch the episode because I don't watch All American, but I heard it when he was listening to it, when he was watching it. I heard it and I was just listening, and honestly it just made me sad. It made me sad to even have to relive any of those things, even though the situations were made up. They were based on something that really happened, and it just made me really sad to even watch it. And I just told him, I was just like, I know that these episodes are created in good merit and they want to bring awareness to the situation, that they may open up the eyes of other viewers, but sometimes for us black people and for even the families, like reliving those situations can be triggering. It can be triggering. And then after I watched this last episode of Grown, sorry y'all, my camera cut off, but after watching last night's episode, I felt differently. I felt like sometimes it's needed, and I felt like it also gave us a different perspective on how I can't remember if people were in school or not when it happened. I know they probably were in school when George Floyd happened, and they might have been in school when Breonna Taylor happened as well. But it's just like, just looking at those characters, like having them lose their lives like that, back to back to back, like it was situation after situation after situation. And me being a person of faith is just like, Lord, like, you love these individuals just like the whole world loves them. And so it's just like, it just made me sad, honestly. But I'm not here to like go over what happened, but I just want to just talk about a few of the subjects that they did touch on. I know they touched on white fragility, which I thought there wasn't enough time to discuss, but the whole conversation with Nomi, I think, was good because it opened up Nomi's eyes to another perspective. And sometimes I know people mean well when they say I wasn't raised to see color, but I think there's negatives to that because, like Nomi's mom said on the phone, I didn't raise you to see color. And then she was like, because you didn't raise her to see certain things, you're glossing over issues that affect other people because you don't see color. And that was like my biggest thing when it comes to, like, even sometimes when people have children with others who are not the same race as them. No, I'm not against interracial marriage or interracial dating, but sometimes when a person is dating a person of color, they need to have a certain understanding of what it is. Or when you have friends that are people of color, you need to understand certain things that they say. Sometimes people are not, most times people are not saying things because they're sensitive. It's because they feel like they're not being understood. They feel like they feel like they're not being heard, and they feel like they're not being understood. So I just thought I wanted to say that Luca's sister be tear gassed. She felt like it was her First Amendment right to go out there and protest for those lives, but at the same time, she ended up getting hurt. And that's another thing, like, that can be a lot, contradictory to, what's going on, because in the government there is a division of federal and state. And yeah, the Constitution may say, oh, well, everybody has these First Amendment rights. And that's a lot of things. That's, to me, sometimes, like, even with learning about history, I've been learning a lot about history. I've always been into history, but learning a lot about history, I've now come to realize that even though we have certain federal and constitutional rights, when it comes down to the state that you are in, just like how some of those states made mandates, or some of those cities made mandates and made curfews, and if the people weren't in place when they needed them to be, they were going to jail. Like, it all is like contradictory to itself, because in the beginning, when our nation was created, there was a division of state and federal, and the federal government gave states their own jurisdiction, so they gave states their rights to make their own rules, which is why, for example, marijuana is legal in some states, but it's not, or, for example, at the time, same-sex marriage was legal in some states, and then in some states it wasn't until, a federal law was passed. So it was just, different things. But all in all, I'm glad that they showed young people standing up for what they believe in, regardless of what happens. But like Zoe said in the episode, it's just crazy that some of those images that we saw when some of those events happened like a while ago, it's legit the same scenes that we see in history books from the civil rights era. And it's just crazy to believe that all of this has happened in some people's lifetime. Like, my parents were born in the 60s. They were born in the early 60s. So by the time the 60s were over, they saw a lot of things, especially with me living here in the South. And it's just crazy that some of this stuff is still happening. I hate it. I hate that it has to be this way, and that, we shouldn't be fighting for certain things at this point in time. You would have thought that some people have progressed and that thinking has progressed, and it's just sad. So, not to, have a Debbie Downer, review, but it just, made me think about some things as far as, historical in historical context. Have we really come as far as we think as Americans? Have we learned our lessons from things of the past? Why does it feel like we keep going in the same direction? You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think for this to be the land of the free, the home of the brave, we wouldn't have to be having all of these conversations. One program that I do recommend you guys watching that is on Netflix is Amend. And I think on that program they talk about the amending of the 13th and the 14th Amendment and how it affects at multiple facets of people's lives and people's of different race in orientation. I think that is a very good program for everyone to watch in connection to these last two episodes that Grownish aired. I am proud of what Grownish talked about. I feel like their intentions were very good, in the creation of these episodes. And I think that they also handled it with care. I think that they were sensitive with the topic. And I just want to say shout out to them for that. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the last 2 episodes of Grownish. Leave your comments down below. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at CurlyKGlam. And I'll be back with more videos. Deuces.